Hear me out on this one, alright, Lucas? It's the Vandal and the Serial Killer Mark II. Don't address it as Jekyll and Hyde bitten just yet. The Vandal creeps ever so slowly, almost as slowly as the killer at serial proportions. They work well together as a duo. A story of horrific ends shall show such. You see, the deranged social happenings of a career street artist brings an array of lucky prey for our serial killer. Our Vandal psych rarely ever understands that his painting spotter and lookout has half the occasions 1 to 2 murders banked on. Mr. Killer, Serial, will address him as Trap, a modern Jekyll and Hyde type story. Trap waited years to take action on this plan. Let's begin. As the hills have eyes, Trap thought, what a better place to take sight tonight. Another pubescent suicide on the rail line, or at least what the police will rule it. This profile of targets was Trap's #1 bulk. Not to forget, Trap being a psychosomatic path, he would always tell the police he was the foolish Vandal and would take Psych's heat, allowing the bail half the time. Very coincidental that this happened. With Psych anonymous, Trap was the city's Banksy and Mulat. Eerily slowly, Psych would be the police's #1 target. The Hills teenagers was one of the last. We'll return to that. The way Trap and Psych met was, well, one of Trap's murder plots, actually. But Psych garnered a weak spot. You see, Trap frequented junkies, drug shooting, hospital galleries, thus pursuing half-dead ket and fentanyl addicts. Upon one visit, he found Psych on the nod whilst he went kneeling to him, closing in upon thrusting his butterfly knife, Filipino antique of course. Psych jumped up screaming babble about a group of girls packed suicide which he watched hiding on a track as a coal train completely dismembered the group of 4 girls. Psych never told anyone as he was hiding in his paint waiting for the panel. Graffiti panel, that is, if you could say. Luckily, Trap concealed his blade. After hearing the boys' Psych's horror story and trauma, Trap's trackside plunder plan begun, the genesis of such. A whole new arena now spared the thought. Trap's ever lasted to off Psych once he got bored. Being the psychosocial-somatic pathic that he was, Psych was goaded by Trap into taking him painting. A drug addict, delirious Vandal, Trap thought, I'd never imagined having such a scapegoat. All Trap had to do was ensure Psych's freedom, and he would be able to off him if Psych ever got cluey or bring on too much light on Trap's doings. On his off day, Trap would catch rabbits out the back of a high school in the southeast area of the city. Once caught, a sympathetic execution would happen on the rabbit. Afterwards, Trap bottled up in little vials of feral rabbit blood into vials ready for the Posca testers. You see, Trap would tag up with these blood and infused testers inside the beachline train toilets, simply leaving train staff baffled. It's a wonder the duo, if you can call them that, consider it so, got away with such ludicrousy for a good decade and a half, in which Trap had done a total of 3.5 years in prison for the alias of Psych, conspiring to cover Psych's vandalism so he could continue murdering as Trap the serial killer. When Trap was in jail, he would regularly see propaganda about his killings. Them being so varied, it was relatively easy to line up dozens of false leads while he was incarcerated. To ensure his continuing of the orgasmic human